Welcome back to Fantasy Football by Committee, powered by Flurry Sports. It can be tough to win a fantasy league on your own, but at FFBC, we will work together to bring home the hardware. Hosted by Zach Bruner and the rest of the Flurry Sports crew, we will give top-level analysis, answer your questions, and, well, go off on other tangents.
That was after I tried to get ChatGPT to admit that 9/11 was an inside job, but it stood firm. It gave quite a few solid points that it was true.
Welcome to Fantasy Football by Committee. The show starts in 3, 2, 1.
What is up? Welcome back to Fantasy Football by Committee. Welcome back to Flurry Sports. This is the Wednesday ranking show. We go over my rankings for fantasy football, half PPR scoring. That's why, or because Fantasy Pros grades me on half PPR scoring, and we compare the rankings to the consensus to see where we are higher, where we are lower. It's a weird week. We got 4 teams on bye. We got another international game, and we're kind of in that point in the season where I would say fantasy football fatigue, NFL fatigue is setting in. I feel like there's a lot of people starting to check out because their teams aren't great. Their teams in real life aren't great, yada, yada, yada. So I think this is a very, very, very important week in terms of trades, in terms of stuff like that, in terms of getting the win. And based on the comments I've seen on YouTube videos for us, based on Twitter DMs, messages in the Fantasy Football by Committee Facebook group, which if you're watching on YouTube, it's linked below. I think everybody else is feeling that as well. A lot of people are figuring out what to do. Obviously, more injuries came on last week, big ones, including Kirk Cousins going down. New quarterback comes in. Not only what does that mean for the Kirk Cousins owners and what's up, Stu, but also like what's that mean for the Justin Jefferson owners? I've had a lot of people wondering what the fuck do I do with Justin Jefferson? Or on the flip side, should I be trying to go trade for Justin Jefferson? And I say all of this to say, first off, there's some videos on our YouTube channel to talk about that specifically. But yes, we're going over rankings tonight. I'll be honest, I need to make a lot of adjustments to my rankings before tomorrow's game. But I think tonight should mostly be answering questions if you guys have them in chat, in the live chat. I think it should mostly be answering trade questions, maybe some start-sit stuff. So if you do have questions, if you're watching live, if you're watching after the fact, fire them away. Trevor, you are here with me tonight. Luke may be joining us at some point. I am unsure, but how are you doing, Trevor? How are your teams doing? Are you suffering from the aforementioned fantasy football fatigue?
Not from fatigue. I'm just suffering from the yearly depression that comes when like all your fantasy teams on the same week lose to the same garbage teams. And
Sure.
People that don't know what they're doing that got lucky on some bullshit. Like my sister started Rashee Rice over Jordan Addison and it worked. It just didn't matter. So that's why I'm Trevor 2.0 because we're bigger and better. Coming down the home stretch, I'm not losing another goddamn game. I guarantee you that.
I like that attitude. I unfortunately am going to be losing a game in a 16-team league this week because I don't think I have enough people to start. I have so many people on bye, and then I already need to drop people to create a lineup. But then I also have Darren Waller, who sounds like he's not going to be playing for weeks now. So it's like, okay, I think I'm just going to take the L. I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do. But again, hey, don't count me out. Maybe I got to trade up my sleeve. Maybe I got something that I can figure out. Ooh, spooky Trevor 2.0.
Spooky season. Yeah.
Okay, there we go. But let's just jump into quarterbacks here. Hopefully Luke joins us at some point. Hopefully y'all got some questions in the chat to fire at us so we don't need to be talking about these quarterbacks because I think it's relatively uninteresting to talk about fantasy football quarterbacks for the most part. But number one this week, I think I'm higher than other people. I have Jalen Hurts at number 1 against the Cowboys. No huge reason. It's not like I'm like, oh, I need to get Jalen Hurts in all my DFS lineups or anything. It's just there's red flags with everybody else. And yes, he's also injured, but I feel like home game against the Cowboys, he's probably going to get up for that. Number 2, I have Patrick Mahomes in Germany, I believe, versus the Dolphins. I have Josh Allen 3 at the Bengals in that rematch of the Damar Hamlin death game, which I think is what we need to be calling it. Lamar Jackson's number 4 versus the Seahawks, and Joe Burrow in that same death game versus the Bills, and that is Sunday Night Football. Do you have anything to say about those 5, agree or disagree?
I mean, anytime Jalen Hurts gets to the one, it's a tush push. It's fantastic. And anybody who thinks it needs to be banned needs to grow up and put on some big boy pants. It's football. Too bad. Stop it. It can be stopped. So stop it. Just do a better job. They're good at it. Sorry, they're good at it. But so, I mean, he's always going to be top 5, probably top 3 because of that. Really, my only other thing to talk about is, they were talking about the Cincinnati Buffalo game. And I think Collinsworth said, it'll be an emotional game. Why? The dude didn't die. He lived. What's emotional about it? He lived. How is that? I don't understand it.
It's going to be weird. I don't know about emotional. I think it's going to be weird, but I mean, first off, is he going to play? Let's start there. He hasn't played really this season.
I feel like the Bills are going to make him active for sure. The optics of him not playing because he sucks is so bad. They're going to have to make him active just because of that, and he's going to miss a lot of plays if he gets on the field.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And I mean, what are people going to do the first time a player's down hurt? That's what's going to be weird. T. Higgins, that's the person who, it might be emotional for him. It might be weird for him. Because, I mean, last time they met, he killed somebody. So it's how hard is he going to be jamming off the ball? How hard is he going to be doing anything? That's weird. I don't know. It already feels like he's in a funk. So it'll be interesting. And I'm putting this up before reading it, which could be scary. Stoof, it's emotional every time I see Saquon play on that stupid MetLife turf. No kidding. And MetLife has eaten people's ankles and knees for years. I believe this year's the first year of something new. I think they returfed it. They redid something new this year, but clearly, I don't know. It might be worse. I have no idea. Trevor, I think you should refresh your stream really quick. And I'm going to talk about some of these other quarterbacks. Dak's coming off a big game. I have him at 7 versus the Eagles. Justin Herbert's a weird one. I think I'm lower than other people on him. I have him at 8, and I'm tempted to move him a little bit lower, actually, just because he plays the Jets. And I mean, that Jets secondary, that Jets defense is legit. And I don't think Justin Herbert is, I mean, he's certainly not matchup proof. I feel like he's going to be prone to making big mistakes in big moments. And Monday Night Football, there's probably going to be many big moments. So, Trevor, I'm just saying I have Justin Herbert at 8. I'm already a little bit lower than other people, and I'm tempted to move him lower. Do you have any thoughts on Herbert against the Jets?
Yeah, I have him in the 10 to 11 range. I mean, he's just, what is there to say about him? Josh Palmer, I think he's a go this week, though, right?
Yeah, Palmer should be
hurt. Yeah. So that won't be a problem. But Keenan Allen, and he's going to force it to him, and Keenan Allen's going to get his. But compared to past weeks, he's probably going to get shut down, in air quotes, compared to what he usually does. Eckler checkdowns, I'd assume Salah has something in mind for that. So am I really scared about Josh Palmer against DJ Reed or Quentin Johnston against literally anybody in the NFL? No. So, especially when they start getting home and he starts getting hit, I'm not worried about, the Jets defense at all. So I'd have him outside the top 10.
It certainly should be a big Austin Eckler checkdown game. It certainly feels that way. And Luke, good morning. How you doing?
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
You're good. You're good. Stu, Rodgers recovering faster because of the turf update. I mean, it has to be. I don't know what else it could be other than whatever witchcraft he has going on.
I was going to say, I think Rodgers is harnessing the powers of everyone else getting hurt for him to get better faster.
I guess there's been so many Achilles injuries that he's just eating them. I don't know. He's doing something. I don't know. Josh has a question on YouTube. Would you trade Kenneth Walker and Thielen for Jamar Chase and Amari Cooper? I need to turn off this fucking font, Trevor. I can't read any of it.
Come on.
I can't do it. Boom. Thank you. Good God.
Yuck.
Oh, it's fine. Spooky season's over. It's November. Grow up. My roster is Burrow, Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara, Amon-Ra, Thielen, Logan Thomas, Breece Hall, I guess, right? Chiefs, Jake Elliott, Kenneth Walker's on the bench. So, I mean, you're trading a bench running back to get Jamar Chase. I love it. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, congrats to you for having that many running backs. Like, that's insane. Rodgers consumed Cousins after trade rumors, possibly like reverse Green Mile. He blew the Achilles into Cousins.
Dude,
Steve's on one today.
I'm sorry if you guys already talked about this, but could you imagine if the Jets actually did trade for Kirk Cousins?
That would be insane. That would be so weird. So weird. Okay, so other quarterbacks. Sam Howell was a big pickup, and I said this on the waiver wire show yesterday, I guess is when I did that. Like, I love Sam Howell rest of season. I love Sam Howell leading up. Like, he's been in literally my quarterbacks articles for the past, like, almost every single week this year. However, I don't love him this week, and even ranking him at quarterback 11, I feel like it's a little too high. He plays at New England. After this, I absolutely love him. Let me bring up his matchups. Then he goes at Seattle, Giants, at Dallas, Miami, Rams. Then he has the Jets in San Francisco for the fantasy playoffs, which is rough. But love Sam Howell. Don't know if I love him this week. I mean, you may not have a better choice.
Wait, till the end of quarterbacks. It's not about Sam Howell. Never mind.
Okay. Levis, obviously starting again tomorrow night against the Steelers. And I think I hate him.
Yeah, I agree.
Week. Yeah,
that Pittsburgh D is tough.
Well, not only is it tough, it's like, what's the Titans' biggest weakness? It's their offensive line.
Plus, I mean, DeAndre Hopkins with the toe injury right now.
DeAndre Hopkins notably never practices. He just kind of gets his body right and just plays the game. Now he's on a short week and he's banged up. Yeah, don't love that. Don't love the fact that TJ Watt and Highsmith are going to be teeing off on that Titans offensive line. Don't love rookie quarterback in a second career start on a short week without the preparation. I don't like him going into Pittsburgh. There's a lot I don't like. Going into Pittsburgh, I suppose, is kind of a homecoming, right? Like, he played at Penn State, got kicked out, essentially. This could be a fuck you game for Levis. That could be fun, but not loving it. Not loving it. I don't, if you were one of the people who rushed the waiver wire to pick him up, I feel like that's a mistake. So, yeah. Vikings are starting Jaron Hall this week. I'm not rushing to pick him up. I think he's okay, but I don't think you need to do anything there. Sounds like Stafford may not play. I'm not wanting his backup, but that's just another injury to note. Justin Fields supposedly still weeks away. That's incredible. Clayton Tune, obviously starting for the Cardinals. Don't care about him. The Falcons, we don't know what they're going to do. Deshaun Watson practiced today. Sounds like he might go. Raiders, they fire general manager Ann McDaniels. Sounds like Aiden O'Connell could start there. I mean, this year already had shitty quarterback play almost across the board. And it's just getting grosser and grosser. So for a position that we've talked about, for years and years, it's like you can wait at quarterback. Like, we can figure it out. We can patch shit together. If you have one of those legit quarterbacks this year, that's a premium.
Yeah.
If you're sitting with Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, you're feeling good.
Yep.
Feeling really good.
Yeah. Shout out to everyone who drafted quarterbacks early.
I guess. Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully your running backs are fine. But I mean, hey, there's 0 RB teams out there that are absolutely killing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I hate the strategy, but certainly there's a clear scenario where that paid off this year. Luke, what was your quarterback question before we compare to the consensus here?
Well, I think you answered it. It sounds like Justin Fields is not going to be ready for this week.
For sure not this week.
Yeah, my question was going to be CJ Stroud or Justin Fields.
Yeah, I believe Eberflus days are running together this week. I think it was today or yesterday, said he's still week to week, which obviously is, several weeks, right? So not great. Thank God Baker Mayfield's holding it down. Love Baker, but he's barely holding his body together. He needs to stop lowering his shoulder. It's going to be okay. Throw it away. Live to see another down. But no.
I do have a question about a quarterback. What do you guys think about Derek Carr this week against Chicago?
I like him. My stupid analysis last week ended up, I think, being correct, where he went 3 weeks in a row. He went 16, 17, 18 for fantasy points. So I'm like, he's getting 19 this week. Got to fucking start him. I think he got 18.7 or something. So, hey, we got a 20-point game coming this week.
Okay.
Got to.
I'm with it. You got to ride trends, man.
Derek Carr notably loves patterns. So, got to keep it going. Okay, so I'm 3 higher on Jalen Hurts, who I have at 1, whatever. Slightly higher on Zach Wilson's really the only relevant player. I have him at 18. I think he's a relevant bye-week fill-in for you if you have Jared Goff or Trevor Lawrence, one of the other two, Russell Wilson. Lower on Mac Jones, essentially, 2 lower. And again, whatever. Maybe I probably shouldn't be lower on Mac Jones. I liked him last week. I certainly am not afraid of him this week. He plays a Washington team that no longer has Chase Young or Montez Sweat. So
they just became a lot less scary.
Yeah, I can't imagine that's going to make them better considering their secondary was already trash. Whatever. Washington's insane, but good for them. The owner is doing his thing. Nino needs some help with the lineup. Need 1 running back, 1 wide receiver, 1 flex between Kenneth Walker, Bijan, Mike Evans, and Higgins. So I'm starting the running backs. It's between the wide receivers for me. And really quick, who does Tampa play? Houston. I'm probably going Mike Evans.
Yeah. It feels wrong for me that Mike Evans is going to have 2 real stinker weeks in a row, just given his career.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and last week, it was a bad week, but he caught the late touchdown.
You're right.
And that got him to somehow his projection, which is wild. But yeah, I'm not trusting Higgins at all.
Yeah, kind of a T. Higgins revenge game. How dare you allow me to kill you on the field in front of millions of people? Maybe he bounces back. I don't know. I would love to see him catch one over Damar Hamlin, though. I think
incredible.
It would be funny. It would be great. Rashid Shaheed flex for the win. I don't fully believe the statement I'm about to say, so I'm going to preface it with that, but I'm going to continue to say it anyway. Rashid Shaheed is kind of what people want Chris Olave to be.
Mm-hmm. I agree 100%, Zach.
I'm going to go a little bolder. I think Rashid Shaheed is one of those dudes that next year we're going to be like, do you remember when Rashid Shaheed won people's leagues in their flex? It's scary, but it's going to happen.
Last year was what? Luke could speak to it. It was McKinnon and Jawan Johnson.
Yeah, fuck you.
It might be Rashid Shaheed. Who knows? Plus Rasul Douglas locking down Higgins. Honestly, not a bad matchup for Rasul. Higgins isn't necessarily super fast, so Rasul could actually body him a little bit.
I'm just gonna wait until Rasul jumps a hitch route on Jamar Chase and he scores an 80-yard touchdown.
Hell yeah. I still have that flag of the Rasul Arizona pick 6, that touchdown with the heartbroken Arizona fan. I was gonna put that up as my backdrop. I forgot about it. I love that thing. Go Bills. I saw your comment on another video. I was hoping you'd actually join Go Bills, so thank you for joining. I have Kittle. Do I start McBride or Ferguson this week? I think I have McBride higher. Let me check really quick. What's your guys' answer?
Is there an update on Kyler Murray? Did you guys talk about that? I'm sorry.
He's not playing this week. I think he'll come back week 10.
Okay. I think I like Jake Ferguson, to be honest. Like, rest of the season, I like Jake Ferguson.
I have Ferguson at 7, McBride at 9, for what it's worth.
Yeah. Okay.
Trevor?
When does Dallas play? What time?
3:25.
Okay.
Second time slot.
I'll go Trey McBride. For some reason, I don't know if this is backed up by any stats. I feel like anytime Dallas plays at night against a divisional opponent, their white tight ends just always do numbers. So I'm going to go with McBride because it's not a night game.
Jake Ferguson back-to-back 80+% of the snaps, which is good to see. McBride, I love. Obviously, I've talked him up a bunch. I'm happy he got the targets last week. I think it was partially Josh Dobbs. I feel like he just locks on to tight ends and just peppers them with targets. So now Clayton Tune in there. We'll see what happens. I don't love the matchup against Cleveland. But I say that about Dobbs because if Dobbs takes over for the Vikings quarterback job next week, Hawkinson may skyrocket in value. Like, he's already great, obviously, but he could emerge as the clear tight end 2 behind Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
Nino, excited about Mossing Hamlin. I am as well. I think that would be great.
He should play dead if he scores a touchdown. That would be very funny.
The celebration? Higgins, or if DeMar catches if he intercepts somebody, he absolutely should just lay there.
Oh, can you imagine if Jamar Chase comes up to him and does the CPR? That would be so fucking funny.
That'd be tough. That fine's going to be hefty, but kind of worth it. Imagine first play the throw to Higgins, the screen, he trucks Hamlin. Honestly, like, it's within the realm of possibility. And
do you guys? I bring this up a lot, but you guys remember when the Giants were like headhunting Jordan Reed? That's what Cincinnati needs to do for DeMar Hamlin this week.
Just target him. Honestly, if he's on the field, like, regardless from anything else, like, he's the weak point. So let's target him.
Here's my question. If I hope this doesn't happen. If Higgins hurts Hamlin and he goes down again,
like another death thing,
is Higgins like done with football? Like, how do you come back from that as a person? I don't understand.
I think if it happens again, it's more on DeMar Hamlin.
I agree, but like, from Higgins' point of view, it's like, I have too much power. I'm too strong.
I would say like 15 years ago, people would be like flexing muscles. I put him down twice in a career.
For sure. Let's put that in the box score. I want that to be known.
That's what Brian Dawkins meant when he said, I'm going to take his soul.
Right.
He meant a lot of things. Love Brian Dawkins. Scary. Anyone who genuinely barks at people, no thank you.
Dude, back in high school, when I played defensive tackle, I was like 5'8", 160 pounds, going up against these farmer centers, and I would bark at them on the defensive line.
I feel like that had a different impact. But
yeah,
maybe
100%.
Okay.
Did you ever get past them?
Never. All they did was just lay on me. They're like, all of them were 200 pounds heavier than me.
Sure. Got Laporta on by. Need a tight end. Should pick up a Kongwu. Luke Musgrave, Otner, Conklin. It's so hard because, like, obviously we're Packer fans. Musgrave has the potential for so many points. Like, he's just doing jumping jacks out there.
Yeah, I'm going Musgrave because of that.
I mean, he's for sure ranked the highest for me out of the bunch.
Yeah, plus it's a 1 week thing. Like, if you look, I mean, there's not really any stress here, so you might as well go for the highest potential.
Nino, you probably know this, but I would not expect many points for any of these 4.
I think Otten is the safest.
Yeah.
Is he?
I think he is.
So, again, I don't think he's going to be great, but if it's PPR, I think you can lock in 6 points for him.
Yeah.
Again, does that break the bank? No, but it is what it is. Just trying to survive here. Jared on Facebook, would you trade Metcalf for Higgins? I would.
Yes. I don't think you want any Metcalf going forward. Like, Metcalf's not a guy who's winning you a championship this year.
I agree. Trevor, same?
Yeah, I would agree.
What's your guys' projection for T. Higgins rest of season? Is he a wide receiver 2, more of a wide receiver 3?
I think he's high wide receiver 3, low wide receiver 2.
I think he's a 3.
Like I think they're rolling right now with what they have, and T. Higgins is not involved in that.
Certainly doesn't seem that way, but I mean, I think this could be a sort of reviving week for him in the same way that he killed a man last year. Maybe this could resurrect his career.
Fair.
Or year, not career, but week. Perfect. Taps up Higgins for sure. On the sideline. What that would be the poster. That would be insane. Okonkwo getting more looks from Levis. He did last week when he had he still had pressure on him, but I don't know. I just think TJ Watt could kill Will Levis.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Okonkwo getting more looks also comes as a result of DeAndre Hopkins catching like 18 and 40-yard touchdowns last week.
And they have to use Okonkwo or a better blocking tight end to chip these edges. They have to. You would think. Nino, most definitely don't want to expect too much. Yeah, for these tight ends. No, yeah, don't set expectations too high. Set the bar low so you can hop over it. Cam, 2-team, 2-quarterback league. Purdy and Lawrence. That sucks for this week. Etienne, Bijan, Waddle, Lamb, Cooper, Nico, Jacoby Myers, McBride, Ingram. What move should I make? I mean,
quarterback for sure.
If you need a win this week, you have to figure out quarterback, obviously. But on a typical week, I think Amari Cooper is going to get better. I don't think there's pressure to do any move.
I don't think there is either. I think if you really want to make a move, the move to make is to upgrade a receiver.
Do you think Waddle's a sell high?
Yeah, I mean, probably, but how high are you? What are you selling him high for?
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, just a good game last week. I just don't trust him to string together, competent performances, I guess.
Right.
So, if you could somehow string together Waddle and Nico or something for just an upgrade at wide receiver, I'd be cool with that. But, I mean, you might have to go Purdy and somebody and just ditch Purdy, 12-team. So is it not a 2-quarterback league? 12-team, not 2-quarterback.
Yeah.
No. Not 2-quarterback. So you still need a quarterback for this week, though. Stu should have traded Higgins for Jonathan Taylor a few weeks ago. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure what the Bengals are. I mean, they think they can win the division, and I think that's probably not true. Jared, would you play Stroud this week or grab Carr? I would have to drop Kyler Murray. Is Murray going to play? If Murray's not going to play.
Stroud's got Tampa.
Yeah, so if it's you already have Stroud, I'm hanging on to Murray if that's the scenario. So I think I have Stroud slightly ahead of Carr anyway, but if the deciding factor to get Carr would be to drop Murray, you have to go Stroud.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
I would agree.
Shane Franson. Should I trade Jerome Ford? Yes. For Higgins? Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah.
Awesome. Congrats to you if you could do it. I can tell you what, if you sent me that I had the Higgins, I would be posting that trade everywhere saying what a terrible trade. But I hate Jerome Ford, so fair enough. What quarterback streamer do I like? Just a little plug. My quarterback streamers article on Flurry Sports will be posted tonight. Haven't started writing it yet, but that is going to happen. Out of Minshew, Baker, Dobbs. Dobbs is not playing, or Mac Jones. I think it's Minshew. I believe.
I'm sorry, did you say Dobbs is not playing? I haven't read that. Yeah, then 100% Gardner Minshew.
I'm Minshew at 12.
Yeah.
Go with the Magic.
Going back to, that East Coast a little bit. Not too far away from Jacksonville, really. You can do a little damage over there. TS, welcome back. Need 2 running back, 1 wide receiver, 1 flex, PPR, Walker, Mostert, Swift, Mixon, Puka, and Evans. Good group here.
I would do Ken Walker and Puka for sure.
I agree. I think I'm going Swift.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I think I'm doing Mostert.
My rankings say Mostert. I know I came down on him from the consensus. I kind of believe in Mixon this week, but
I would do Mostert and Swift. Walker, Mostert, Swift, Puka.
I would too. I'd agree with that.
I think so too. Like, truthfully, just in my mind, and maybe this isn't the correct way to think about it. Ooh, maybe they would do this. I in my mind, I feel like I'm not showcasing Jeff Wilson to the international audience. I'm showcasing Raheem Mostert, but maybe they do. Maybe it's just a huge Jeff Wilson game,
No.
and then he has this huge cult-like following in Germany, which is fun.
No, in Germany, Mike McDaniel's looking for the big plays.
Yeah, I would assume Howell or Carr this week. I think I'm going Carr. Who's New Orleans got again? Chicago. Yeah, Carr. 20 points. Lock it in. Those patterns.
Yeah.
Keep firing questions away. We are going to cruise through running backs here. We are on our second position, 40 minutes in. Good for us.
Good discussion.
It is. Yeah. I started it out, Luke, just saying, like, I didn't really want to talk about rankings. I'd rather just answer people's questions tonight, just because, like, comments on YouTube videos and Twitter DMs and everything, everyone has questions this week. So I think people would get more out of it. Yeah. And also, if you want to look at these rankings, they're linked down below. They're on flurrysports.org. They're in the Fantasy Football by Committee Facebook group. They will be updated. So definitely check that out, bookmark it, do whatever you got to do. But for right now, I have Saquon Barkley at my running back 1 at the Raiders. I just can't. Maybe the Raiders play a little more revived this week, but
they were bad on Monday.
You would have to think they play with a little more energy this week with McDaniels gone.
Yeah.
But still.
Yeah.
It feels like, maybe it's a game for them like when Jeff Saturday took over for the Colts last year. Something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, legitimately, possibly. Like, it's just like that locker room isn't thinking like, oh no, our head coach is gone.
Like, oh yes, our head coach is gone.
Right. This is a banding together scenario, I feel like. So
yeah.
Regardless, though, like, Giants are going to run the football, obviously. I have Austin Eckler, number 2 at the Jets. We talked about, seems like a big check down game to Eckler. I have Breece Hall 3 in the same game against the Chargers. I have Alvin Kamara 4 versus the Bears and Jonathan Taylor 5 at the Panthers. Luke, what do you think of those 5 running backs?
I think last night I told you guys that I think I like Alvin Kamara going forward, right? It seems like he's finally got going after that suspension. And he's very involved with the offense, against Chicago, which is a team that you can kind of, take the ball and run against. So I'm all for Alvin Kamara this week.
I view him similarly to that I did before, just that I don't think he scores touchdowns. But, like, if he's getting in PPR leagues an extra 6 to 10 points per week just on receptions, then
right.
Who cares, I guess.
Yeah, that's actually the question I was going to ask you. Why is AK not a little higher? I know 4 is still high, but yeah. I mean, the touchdown downside does hurt a lot.
For sure. I just feel like they should theoretically be able to throw downfield more this week. We'll see how Montez Sweat does with the Bears, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't seem like he'd be very motivated there, but who knows? Who knows? I have Mixon at 9. We had a question about him. I actually have him 1 spot ahead of Swift. So if I could go back, I'd put him ahead of Swift. Tony Pollard, I have at 14. He's one of the hardest people to rank for me this year.
He hasn't scored since week 1, a rushing touchdown.
Yeah, he hasn't scored a touchdown since then. Scored 2. Yeah. I mean, last week, Dallas's offense was at least good. So it was like they were just scoring, from further out and stuff. But That offensive line's been hurt, so that running game hasn't been great. And they're not forcing Tony Pollard the ball.
Well, I also fear for Tony Pollard owners that Dallas finally figured out that if we throw the ball to CeeDee Lamb, good things are going to happen.
Yeah. I love CeeDee Lamb going forward.
Yeah.
He was the biggest winner from that bye week, I would say.
Would you try to trade? What are you looking at for Tony Pollard in a trade then? Because like you're selling kind of
Trading
low,
him
but
away?
not low. Yeah.
I mean, if I'm trading away Tony Pollard, maybe there's a scenario where he's my running back 3, but I'm probably trying to upgrade it. I would rather have Kenneth Walker rest of the way.
Agreed.
Just trying to think. Like, I would trade him for Isaiah Pacheco straight up.
Did that really help you though?
I like Pacheco more.
Yeah, I agree too. Yeah.
I would be willing to go trade Tony Pollard for like a Gus Edwards and, a tight end upgrade or a wide receiver upgrade. Like you throw in one of those. Like if the Ravens are going to be giving Gus Edwards the ball, like I think we all love Gus Edwards. It's just
fucking dude.
Yeah, no, they weren't giving him the ball. So if he's going to be a bell cow there, I mean, fuck, he's an RB2 with upside.
Yeah.
Let's answer questions. I don't give a fuck about my rankings. To be fair, rankings linked below if you guys care. Or if you're on Twitch, just go to flurrysports.org. Do you remember when I said Taysom Hill should have been on your guys' watch list last week? It's probably luck though. I mean, good call.
Yeah.
Like I said last week, Luke and I were talking. It's just all these analysts said he's going to get all these receptions, and I said no, he's not, and he had 1. So like he scored the touchdown. That's great. Or scored 2, I think.
Yeah, I'm going to say, Nick, don't sell yourself short. I think that was a good call. I mean, Taysom Hill is, it's been all year he's getting the ball at the 20-yard line running, and he's just been scoring recently.
Yeah, I'm not going to ask you to show your work. It doesn't matter how he got there. Like, congrats, right. I guess. I traded Brian Robinson, Amari Cooper, and Darren Waller. That's good for you. For Swift and Marquise Brown. Ooh. What's your thoughts on the trade?
I like the trade.
I'm just for whatever.
I don't like it at all.
I can't commit to DeAndre Swift.
I'm committed to Marquise Brown.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
With Kyler coming back?
Yeah, he gets his college quarterback back.
That's fair.
I guess. I mean, I think we talked about it. Amari Cooper, I feel like he's got better things on the horizon. Brian Robinson is a solid running back. He gets some passing game work. He scores touchdowns. I mean, I know his yardage isn't the best, but he scores touchdowns. And then Darren Waller, too. I know he'll be out a few weeks, but, I mean, I'd rather have that. I don't know how you can trust Swift after the last 4 or 5 years, to be honest.
I'll tell you what the tiebreaker is for me. For me, it's the empty roster spot that you have now. Like just the fact that you opened up a roster spot and you can do something with it. That makes me like that back of the trade more. Brian Robinson, like he's been good. He's been fine. It's so game script specific with Washington. And I can't imagine they're going to be in more games now that they got rid of their 2 DNs,
Correct.
But yeah, I think Amari Cooper is going to come alive a little bit. Darren Waller, like it sounds like it's a multi-week hamstring thing. And obviously he's had that hamstring before. So, good for you getting rid of him at the right time, truthfully. Hudson, trade Puka for Devontae Adams, Davante for future reference. Both seem risky now. PPR, he is 5-3. I mean, it's a position for position trade. I'd rather have Devontae, but personal preference, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, you also have to factor in now. Stafford may not play this week. Stafford may be one more hit away from not playing the rest of the year. Not that Devontae has a great quarterback situation, but like is Puka with Ripien better than Devontae with Aiden O'Connell? I don't have the answer. I don't think so, but I don't have the answer.
Well, Stafford at this age might be one hit away from just calling it quits. And I don't think anybody would blame him.
For sure. Josh, would you trade Kenneth Walker and Thielen for Jamar Chase? Do we have this already?
We did. Yes.
Yes, we would. Similar trade to before, different trade. Sorry, let me put more thought into it.
Oh, he doesn't
Trade
get Cooper
kind of-
back. Okay. Then I'm gonna say no. Actually,
Like I still feel like Adam Thielen's a sell high though.
I do too.
His roster's running backs are Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara, and Breece Hall. Kenneth Walker's still on his bench. I would still do it just because of your running back depth. You're not really making your starting lineup worse. Obviously.
that's fair.
But yeah, I'd squeeze him a little bit more though. If that's what they countered with, counter in the middle. Get something else. Jared, should I hold Fields? Can't IR him, listed as questionable, taking a roster space. I have Stroud and Murray. Tough. Like I said, I believe Eberflus said he's still week to week, which suggests, 2+ weeks away. Bears obviously aren't in a rush to bring him back. Like, it depends on what you're picking him up or what you're picking up when you drop him.
I'm saying if it's a player that can immediately help your team, I'm cool with dropping Fields.
Sure. I'm not dropping Fields for a bench player.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are you dropping Fields for someone that you can take a chance on in the future? I can't even think of an example for that.
What about, would you drop Fields? Let's say 3 wide receiver league. Your 3 wide receivers are okay. 4th wide receiver is not great. Would you drop him for Demario Douglas?
No,
I would not.
No.
What if I threw this one at you? Would you drop him for AJ Dillon?
No, fuck AJ Dillon.
Yeah, bias speaking, no. But honestly, we'll talk about it on Lombardi Sweep after this. We may see a hefty dose.
Yeah, AJ Dillon is RB1 in Green Bay now.
For better, or let's underline this, for worse. He is I think rest of season, they're just going to say, hey, earn yourself a contract. We'll see what happens. Which I don't dislike, actually. Brian Robinson is only good when he scores. Agreed. Waller, I was driven away because of the injuries. Fair enough. Congrats to you on that. And Cooper seems like something's off in Cleveland for sure. And what's off is that
The quarterback.
their $246 million quarterback or whatever is, on the
He's
side.
not getting off on masseuses. So
Good one, Trevor.
Fair enough. I'm not sold on Pop Douglas. Douglas doesn't look great. Mac Jones is horrible. I think I disagree with both of those statements. I like Douglas, and I think Mac Jones is okay.
I also like Douglas. I also love Kendrick Bourne, but fuck.
Yeah, I know. And I don't want my saying of Mac Jones is okay to be a glowing endorsement, but I think he's more than capable of being fine.
Do you think they go quarterback in the draft? Given, let's say they end up with a 5th pick and they get a choice, like Drake May's sitting there.
Yeah, if they're that high, I think they might go Shadur. Honestly, I really do. Not that high. I think they go later.
I do not want Shadur to go to New England.
He would work. He would work there, I think. But
let me ask you guys a question. Rest of the season, Osborne or Douglas?
Douglas.
Probably.
I like Demario Douglas. I think, he's the only receiver minus Kendrick Bourne that's done anything.
Yeah.
So,
Juju's done some dances, hasn't he?
Got in the end zone last year.
Did he?
Yeah.
Fuck Juju.
I think it was after Bourne got hurt, though.
Yeah. Can't be doing that. Yeah, compared to the consensus, I'll just say this really quick. I'm 3 lower on Alvin Kamara. I am at 9. He's the consensus top-ranked running back this week. I think that's crazy to me. I am 4 lower on Raheem Mostert. I'm 4 lower on Aaron Jones at 23, and I might bring him lower than that.
I would.
And I'm a little lower on Roshan Johnson. Obviously, he plays the Saints. Really quick, let's do wide receivers. Keep firing away questions. Also, I thought Shadur is waiting another year. I doubt that.
I feel like I remember Dion saying that he is, but that was also many months ago.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah, but like once you get in the spotlight, you can't throw that away.
Chitter's also leading the country in pass completions and yards.
While getting hammered.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like if you can take the paycheck, if you can guarantee yourself a top 2 round pick, which I think he would be a second rounder, then you got to go.
Mm-hmm.
Being a second round pick also gives him, and I do mean him, a little more control about where he goes to.
Yep.
Which is huge.
Yeah, he's the one deciding where he's going.
Yes. Yes, he is. Well, him and Dion. Wide receivers, I have Tyreek Hill in a revenge spot in Germany.
Love it.
At number 1, Jamar Chase 2 versus the Bills, Stephon Diggs 3 at the Bengals, AJ Brown 4 versus Dallas, CeeDee Lamb 5 at the Eagles. Trevor, anyone stand out to you?
Just Hill. I know he's got a specific celebration planned, either for Germany or as a middle finger to Kansas City, and I'm ready to see it. I wouldn't be shocked if he shows up in like weird lederhosen looking something, and I'm here for it. I think Tyreek Hill is the number 1 receiver every week from here on out, especially revenge game against Kansas City. I mean, let's be honest. I would not at all be shocked. I wouldn't even bat an eye if he has 200 receiving yards this week. Not at all.
I agree, Trevor. I'm sorry, Zach. I'm very unorganized right now. Who did you say you had 2 and 3?
Chase versus the Bills, and then Diggs at the Bengals.
Yeah, I mean, I love both those guys in the game. Like, I don't think your top 5 is going to be much different than we're going to end up with the top 5 this week.
Probably not. Stu Shadur can make similar money in college, has a chance to be number 1 pick in 2025. That's if he's healthy.
Right.
As Trevor said, like he's getting his shit rocked this year.
It might be the worst offensive line in football, college football.
Yeah. Claim your check. If the bag's presented to you, go get it. And similar money, it's not. Correct. By the way, a year in the NFL earlier is a year closer to that next NFL contract.
Mm-hmm.
Like you want as many of those paydays in the NFL as possible. If you can get there a year earlier, you get there a year earlier. Especially, I mean, take a look around at the quarterbacks this year. People need quarterbacks now. Perfect time for all these big names to be coming into the draft. Nick, last month he said he wanted to wait another year because he was being overshadowed by Caleb Williams. Well, guess what? Caleb Williams fucking sucks now, huh? So Ed Shadur is going to be okay. It's going to be okay. He's going out. He may say the whole time, focusing on Colorado. Just want to win now. Just want to be with the boys. Let's wait until after, let's wait until after the fucking bowl. And then, hey, you know what? Draft sounds okay. Speaking of O-line, Commanders O-line's horrible. Drove me even worse. They did okay last week.
They did.
But I agree they're horrible.
Yeah.
Like, Brian Robinson has a touchdown in all but 2 weeks. That's about as consistent as you're going to get at the running back position this year, outside of like the top guys.
That's fair. But yeah, their O-line's terrible. Giants O-line is so beat up that it's just sad to watch. Tennessee.
Stu, if you're saying Colorado can attract better offensive line next year, though, I will undoubtedly say that NFL offensive linemen are going to be better than the Colorado linemen next year.
Yeah.
Well, it's truthfully, if you have a chance to be a second rounder earlier pick, honestly, just a day 2 or earlier pick, you go. Like, yes. Dion's not stupid.
Right.
Like, just trust me on this. He's not stupid. There's
Plus, don't they have a top tier quarterback coming in next year's class anyways?
Probably.
Or is that 2025?
I don't know. If it's not next year, then they'll get one transferring in,
Yeah.
They're going to have always going to have a good quarterback under Dion.
Yeah, for sure. Compared to the consensus, who's notable? I'm 5 higher on Jordan Addison at 29. I'm not shying away from him. Demario Douglas, I'm 3 higher at 40.
Jordan Addison's an awesome player.
He's great.
Yeah.
Really good. Weird that we wanted him on the Packers, but, almost like he would have made this team better. I'm 3 lower on Waddle at 10. I'm 7 lower on Puka at 24. 3 lower on Rashee Rice at 34. And what was that?
What up, Dylan?
Oh, do you know Dylan or no?
No.
Dylan, how are you? How are you doing? How's your team? How's your family? Let's go.
What's your favorite
Tight
sandwich?
ends. Ooh, big stuff. Made.
Also,
Go ahead.
Nick, B-Rob had a receiving touchdown in 1 and 6. So 3 weeks, my bad.
Made a big move, traded Ford, Lovett, Goddard, and Diggs for Etienne, Hawkinson, Devontae Smith. Good
Awesome.
for you.
Awesome.
Good move, yes. Ford was his RB2. Shouldn't have been. Get to now combo. Etienne with CMC. Wide receiver depth is Diggs, Ayuk, Waddle, Flower, Shaheed. Yeah, I mean, you should be charged for the robbery you just committed.
He's trading with Andre.
Seems that way. Stu, Deion Zigo wants Shadur to go number 1.
I don't think that's
Deion
true.
Zigo wants him to fucking be in the NFL and be a starting quarterback. That's it. Like, he doesn't care about number 1 overall. I'm pretty confident. Been super high on Kamara this year. Drafted him in the 6th round. He's made my team 100% better.
Nice.
Same. I just think people need to adjust their perception of why Kamara is a, valuable player.
Yeah.
It's not because he scores touchdowns. I'll put the over-under on 2.5 touchdowns the rest of the season. I might take the under, but he's going to be catching so many passes. That's for sure. Tight ends here. Travis Kelce 1, obviously. TJ Hawkinson 2 at the Falcons. Mark Andrews 3 at the Seahawks. I might move him down a little bit. I have Dallas Goedert 4 versus the Cowboys. And I have the rookie, Dalton Kincaid at the Bengals, number 5. Luke, any of those 5 guys stick out to you?
I think Kincaid's the one we probably should talk about, right? It was kind of predictable that he was going to be involved in this offense with Dawson Knox out. And I'm with you guys. I don't know why that doesn't continue. Kincaid's also, another wide receiver who plays tight end kind of player. And he's not just another huge body for Josh Allen. So I'm with it.
It's tough. Like, he should be top 5, and I can see why he's ranked there. I guess years and years of Dawson Knox, and I understand Kincaid is better. Years and years of Knox has pushed me off of putting too much stock into Buffalo tight ends. But he's played well, and I think they're going to keep giving him the ball if he keeps playing well. And Cincinnati should be a high-scoring game. But if I'm going to rank him in the top 5, I definitely would rather have him 5 outside looking in. I don't think he's reliable enough yet to have him anywhere near the top 3.
Yeah, I'm not projecting a week like, last week or the week before that. Like, I'm not saying he's going to find the end zone or anything like that. It's just he's now playing the position where he is a mismatch for the defense. Before that, they're trying to play him split out and do stuff like that, which made no sense. Like, now he's just a slower wide receiver when he's split out, but when he's actually playing tight end and getting matched up on the linebacker or the safety, now he's an actual mismatch. So, and we saw how much better he is. So I like it. And also just look at the tight ends. Like, do I trust Dalton Schultz? No. Do I trust Jake Ferguson? No. Do I trust Kyle Pitts? No. Those are all guys directly underneath them. And yeah, I'm just going with what I think targets or where targets are going to go. I'm interested to see if Kyle Pitts develops any sort of consistency if Heineke is the quarterback, but we'll see. Bronson, is Khalil Herbert worth a pickup? I think.
I mean, it always depends on who you're dropping, but
for sure.
See why not?
I mean, I think he comes back and immediately usurps Deontay Foreman.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's going to come back be RB1, but I think he has a significant role. I was only looking at rushing. Oh, you good? Appreciate it. Just saw a competitive guy move Burrow and Puka for Olave and Hurts. Who wins that rest of season? Yeah, definitely not a trade you would veto. That's really tough. I think I'd rather have Olave. I think I'd rather have Olave and Hurts.
Yes.
To which side?
To Hurts and Olave.
Okay.
I love Joe Burrow, but I don't know. Jalen Hurts has been fine. He's been good this year. Very good.
I also feel like we've seen Olave's floor. I'm not saying I love Chris Olave, but I think we've seen his floor.
Yes.
And I don't think we've
Sorry.
I don't think we've seen his floor. You're killing it. Ralph, what's up? Welcome back.
Yo, Ralph.
Evening, gentlemen. Quick question. Do you honk Jefferson?
Think.
Kill. Bingo. I could get past it. Do you think Jefferson can maybe be a wide receiver too when he returns with a new quarterback? Yeah, I think I said yesterday, I think he's low end wide receiver 1.
Yeah, don't panic on Justin Jefferson.
Yeah. Agreed. I could not get past that. Like honk. It's got to be a different word. It's got to be. What do you guys think? I've been torn on this all week. Taysom Hill or McBride?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're banking on Taysom Hill rushing touchdown. Could he do it? 1,000%.
I'm going Taysom Hill. Balls to the wall, guys.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. I don't know. There's a video out there of Deion and Shador sitting in a box watching a game. Shador saying he's going to the league. Deion saying no, staying with your pops next year. Sounds like a joke.
Stoops doesn't want Shador in the NFL.
You're telling me Deion doesn't know when the cameras are on him?
Fair enough, yeah.
You tell me Shador doesn't know when the cameras are on him?
Yeah.
After you said that to Shador, he turned to the camera and winked, right? Like,
it's like a fucking Jim Halpert move.
Yeah. No, you staying here. Like, it sounds like a joke. Sounds like they're joking. It sounds like a coach and player joking around, not even a father and son. This phone is killing me. I wouldn't put hog. Thanks, fellas. Yeah.
I think that as a society, we should exchange the word think for honk moving forward.
Fair enough. It certainly livened up the conversation. It was a curveball there. I guess we didn't compare these to consensus.
Ralph. Rooting for you.
Absolutely. I'm 3 higher on Cole Kmet at 10. They made it a point to target him heavy last week after ignoring him the week before that. I expect something in the middle this week. I have Cade Otton at 17. That's 4 higher. Don't really need to talk about Connor Hayward, but I guess I'm higher there. I'm 6 lower on Taysom Hill at 16. He's a top 10 tight end consensus. So I guess I answer that question with bias, maybe. 4 lower on Hunter Henry at 21. And then I rank Darren Waller at the bottom. So I'm lower on him. I can't imagine he plays.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm sorry. I just need to tell you guys what just happened. In my touchdown only league, someone just dropped Stephon Diggs, and I just picked him up.
Okay.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy. Why?
What's going on there?
I don't know. The guy who dropped him didn't even pick anyone up. I feel like I'm being like it's like an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm here.
Yeah, I don't really know. I feel like he knows something.
Right.
Nick, I have McBride at 9. And I'm iffy on him just because I know Dobbs peppered him with targets specifically. Toon should do that, but who knows? And then the Browns matchup isn't the greatest, but certainly better for tight ends than wide receivers. So I'm just not expecting big yardage, but he could get a decent amount of targets there.
Did Diggs
just got arrested?
Is that true?
Did he actually? I think Stu's fucking with it. There's no way, right?
No way.
That's an insane thing if that actually happened.
I'm looking this up. There's no shot.
I mean, I don't have a notification.
What would he have gotten arrested for? It's that bad to drop him.
Is he? I don't know.
Fuck you, Stoof. No, he didn't.
There's no way. That would be. I don't know. It feels like that's the only way to explain it. He was yelling on him at a McDonald's. It sounds real. It sounds legit. Deontay Johnson or George Pickens this week. Don't waste your time. No. Stu, you're good. I mean, that's the first sign of morality we've seen from Stu, which is interesting. But okay, so which Steelers receiver you guys like more this week?
I like Pickens. I think Pickens has the touchdown upside.
I like Deontay. I'm a target slut.
I'm ranked close. If you can somehow look ahead and just like know what you're going to need from these guys, I think Deontay is definitely safer. In Pickens because that touchdown upside has the bigger boom potential. If you just need a decent performance and you're going to win the week, go with Deontay. Otherwise, like I'm always going to choose Pickens because Pickens is fun. Pickens is the big play guy, and he should theoretically be able to burn this Titans secondary. But we'll see. We shall see. Bronson, another question.
Something tells me too that George Pickens gets more than one catch on a short week here.
Fucking better. Trade Sutton or Michael Thomas for James Conner or Javonte Williams. Interesting.
I would trade Sutton over Thomas, right? Or is that crazy?
That's what I was just wondering. That was my initial gut call, but maybe that's not true either. Okay, let's work backwards. I think I'd rather have Javonte than James Conner.
100% agree.
Okay. Would you?
Yeah.
Okay. We get this question a lot in that people don't want to roster too many of players on the same team. Is that enough of a tiebreaker for you that you would rather trade away Michael Thomas than Sutton?
I don't think so because Javonte Williams, even though he's been involved in the running game, I've talked a lot of shit about him this year, but Russell Wilson's thrown a touchdown in every game this year. Like when they get down, they are throwing in the red zone. That makes me like Sutton over Thomas. Now that I say that, I don't know. Because I just said that I'd rather have Thomas. But I think I'd rather have Sutton and Javonte Williams, I believe.
Sutton and?
Yep, that's who I want out of this trade. I want to keep Sutton and I want to get Javonte Williams.
And have the Broncos had their bye week? They're on bye right now.
They have it this week.
Okay, so I mean, assuming you don't need to play these guys.
Well, you can't play either one of them, Conner or Williams.
True. But I mean, true. Unless, I mean, do you need to play Michael Thomas this week? I guess would be the question, I suppose.
Yeah, there we go.
I think I'd rather have Sutton and Williams too. Even though Michael Thomas has been pretty good, in the back of my mind, and I assume everybody else, there's still that, when's he going to get hurt?
Mm-hmm.
I got another trade question for you guys.
Okay.
Would you trade Evans and Pollard for Diggs and Ramondre?
Evans and Pollard. Diggs and Ramondre.
And who?
Yeah.
Mike Evans and Tony Pollard for Stephon Diggs and Ramondre.
Yes. I don't like Ramondre, but I love Stephon.
That's fair. Nick likes Sutton, so he agrees with us there. Will Levis, trade him or keep him? Trade him. Yeah. Trade him before tomorrow.
Yeah, you're asking, should I wait and see if he value? Like, this is the highest that he's going to be valued for the rest of the season.
I would assume so. And I asked this yesterday just to myself, I suppose, when I was streaming. I asked you guys now. If Will Levis comes out tomorrow, gets his dick kicked in by TJ Watt, Steelers just absolutely destroy them, do the Titans keep throwing Will Levis out there, or do they go back to Tannehill?
I think they have to keep throwing Will Levis out there.
I don't know. Like my thing is, I've seen so many young quarterbacks absolutely ruined because they keep getting it on the chin over and over. Like, I think it makes sense to be like, hey, Tannehill, sorry about it. You're going back out there.
Yeah. Maybe.
And
Will Levis has all the confidence in the world right now. Do you really want that to go to complete shit and kind of have him start over? I don't know.
I'm kind of surprised they went with him over Malik Willis too.
I am too.
Already, but so maybe they are already
Willis, honestly.
It really doesn't feel like he got much of a chance, but maybe he's a shitbird behind closed doors.
Who is that guy at Corral? Was he the one at Carolina?
Yeah. Is he dead?
It's the same thing as what happened to Jimmy Clausen at Carolina.
Maybe. I mean,
I don't know about that.
They drafted Jimmy Clausen in the second round and then said, fuck this, we're going Cam Newton, which makes sense, but
they saw Jimmy Clausen, though, didn't they? They played him a little bit.
I think they did.
Oh.
I think so. Maybe not. I think so, though. Thoughts on the lineup? Herbert, Kamara, Henry, McLaurin, Marquise Brown, Laporta, Swift, Bucker, Eagles, benches, Kyler Boyd, JSN, Najee, Taysom, and McBride.
Why do you have 2 tight ends? That's what I'd ask.
3 tight ends.
Well, 2 tight ends because Laporta's on
2 tight ends on the bench, I should say.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess that would be fair.
I like the lineup for who you have.
Yeah.
And again, this is, up front, clearly I'm lower on Taysom Hill. I don't believe in his consistency would be the best way to say that. I'm trying to trade Taysom Hill because clearly a lot of people are valuing him super high. He's a consensus top 10 tight end. If you can trade him at starter tight end value, why wouldn't you?
Well, I'm also looking at your lineup saying, I'm wondering if you can package Laporta and a wide receiver for a wide receiver 1. Like, because Laporta's great and I love him, but McBride's more than serviceable. So I don't know if you lose a ton there and get an upgrade at wide receiver.
The only reason I'm nervous about keeping McBride as a tight end 1 is Ertz is going to come back.
How many more weeks does he have out?
Like 2,
At least
2 or 3.
Okay. I thought it was more than that.
And when he comes back, like he's going to play. Will McBride be the majority snap? Tight end possibly. It's just, it's hard to really hitch my wagon to him, even though I like him. Are we smashing the start button on Adams now? He's been on my bench for 3 weeks in a row because of crap performances. I think so. Why wouldn't they make it a point to just feed Devonta Adams the ball?
Yeah.
Luke, I assume you believe the same thing?
Yep. Sorry, I'm figuring out my dig situation right now.
Wait, what?
I think he wasn't arrested.
Oh, I didn't hear Diggs. Okay.
There's something else. I thought we'd see a Tannehill to Minnesota move. Yeah, honestly, that would have made sense depending on cap situation, but they could have ate all the cap, obviously. But they didn't want that contract either. I mean, if it feels like Tennessee's throwing the season, so they could have just ate all of Tannehill's contract and got a 6th or 7th out of it. So it certainly seems like it would have made sense unless they have plans to play him once he's healthy.
Yeah.
Peter wins in a Kittle Laporta trade. That's interesting.
Laporta. I don't trust Kittle to stay on the field. And even if he does, I think Laporta gets more targets, more chances.
Here's I think Kittle outscores Laporta rest of season. However, I think Laporta might be more consistent. So like there's going to be weeks where Kittle wins you the week, loses you the week. I feel like Laporta is going to middle that every time.
Agreed.
And, we talk about consistency a lot in the offseason with our boom bust rankings. And it's like consistency might be more valuable than those top tier performances, obviously. Cap, Herbert and Kelsey for Zay Flowers, Hawkinson, and Raheem Mostert, I assume. Is that a good trade?
I think absolutely.
Herbert, is this Justin Herbert or Khalil Herbert?
I would assume Justin, if you're getting that much of a return.
I don't like this trade.
I mean,
if it's Justin Herbert, you have a reason to trade Justin Herbert. You must have another good quarterback. But if that's not the case, I fucking hate this trade.
That's true. If Herbert's your guy, then that's bad.
Like, don't you think you could get, assuming it's Justin Herbert, assuming you're trading to somebody who needs a quarterback, don't you think you could do Justin Herbert for Zay Flowers or Raheem Mostert?
Yeah, I also think
that's fair.
Yeah, I also think that Kelsey can be traded for anyone who's like not named Christian McCaffrey.
Okay, he has Jordan Love. Do not do this trade.
Yeah, horrible trade.
I take everything I said back.
Yeah, you're good. You keep Justin Herbert.
Keep Kelsey.
Yeah, I agree. If I package Marquise Brown, Laporta for a trade, who should I look for in return? Marquise Brown, Laporta, depends on what you need. Obviously, we looked at this team before, didn't we? Yes.
I think you can get wide receiver 2 out of that.
I mean, his wide receiver one's McLaurin. I'd be shooting higher than him, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe a Devontae Smith. How do you feel about that?
Love it.
Yeah.
What about like a Yeah, Devontae Smith's a good one. Yes.
Again, though, I think I would prefer to go Taysom Hill and Marquise Brown and upgrade that wide receiver less. Personally, I'd rather keep Laporta.
Yeah, 100% agree.
You know, I don't know.
I wonder what you can get for running back for that.
Yeah. People value this guy way differently depending on who you ask, but maybe you can get a Pacheco. Tough with his recent touchdowns, I suppose. Could you get a Tony Pollard for that?
Would you want a Tony Pollard for that? I think so, right?
I think you're buying low on Tony Pollard right now. I think
agree.
so.
Yeah.
It's close. Hawkinson, while Dobbs throwing to him, value Hawkinson a little too high on this trade. I think Hawkinson's value stays the same or goes up with Dobbs versus Cousins, to be honest.
Yeah.
All we've seen is Dobbs pepper tight ends with targets, shown by Trey McBride last week. And Zach Ertz before that. Rate my 16-team 16-team man lineup. Burrow, Christian McCaffrey, Kamara, Amon-Ra, Jamar Chase, Logan Thomas, Breece Hall, Chiefs, Jake Elliott. Seems good.
Yeah,
seems
incredible.
Very good.
You have that in a 16-man team? Nice.
I don't know how, but yeah, very good. Sounds like a winner. Already have Henry, Kamara, and Swift, and Najee. I know Najee isn't great, but the other three guys are pretty set for me.
Okay, so you probably don't need a running back.
Yeah, fair enough. Fire your last couple questions now, and we are going to be taking a short break, coming back with Lombardi Sweep, a Green Bay Packers podcast for those who want to come back and hang out. We're talking about, obviously, Packers trading away Rasul Douglas at the trade deadline, extending Rashawn Gary for some reason. Do we like it or not? Spoiler alert, I hate it. And previewing.
I like it.
Really? Okay. Interesting. Packers play the Rams this week, so we'll be previewing that game. The Packers get another matchup potentially against a backup quarterback. Will that be a win? Will that be a loss? We shall see.
I have an update on the Diggs situation.
Okay.
The guy accidentally dropped him, and it's like a real old man league that I'm in, so I have to give him back.
Mm-hmm.
That's
tough. Fair.
How do you accidentally drop somebody, though?
It's old men using apps, Trevor.
That's fair.
Somebody got arrested in a McDonald's. So said the screenshot of our chat. Is water wet?
It is not.
Possibly.
No.
When you're underwater, you're not wet.
You're part of the ocean. I would agree with that, actually.
You're wet when you get out of the water, but not underwater, you're not wet.
I like that. I do agree with that. I hate that I agree with that, but I do.
It's true. You agree with it because it's true.
What's the definition of wet? Let's look that up really quick.
Soaked. I mean, water on you.
Well, okay.
We don't say that air is on us, do we?
Covered with water.
Yes.
You can't be more covered with water than being under the water.
That is.
But it cancels out because you're not covered in air right now.
Yeah, because of PEMDAS.
I'm not saying I'm wet. I'm saying I'm dry.
No, I agree, but that's like
true. Yeah, no, you got me back on your side, Zach.
I'm just going. I understand what you mean.
If you have water on you outside of water, then you're wet. I think water cancels it out.
Wait a minute. Just another question here on the sidebar. It says specifically, is water wet? And it says water is both wet and not wet at the same time. Confused? Let's break it down. Okay, we're going to let the show go a little longer because we're going to get to the bottom of this.
Yeah.
Because Steve just opened up a fucking can of worms.
I've had this argument many times in my life. Believe it or not.
I swear to God, if this article from zmescience.com has the exact same argument that you just said, I'm going to be so pissed off.
I probably cited this article in arguments before.
Probably. We'll get to whether water is wet in a moment. Don't fucking tease me. Okay, so water is wet. Why is water wet and why is it not? These headings suck. Because water is a liquid, it cannot be wet itself. Wetness requires a substance to be in contact with a surface, and water is the substance in this case. I don't think this.
I don't know about that.
I don't think this defends you at the moment. It's saying since it's the thing that makes things wet, so water itself cannot be wet. If you're under the water, you're still fucking wet, but water can't become wet.
Not until you get out of water.
Water, because wet is being covered in water. Yeah. Water can't be just covered with water. It's just water, then.
Although are covered and submerged not the same thing?
No.
What? What do you mean? Of course, I think so. What's the difference between covered and submerged?
Submerged is covered is like is like blanketed. Submerged is like I can't make it. I can't think of it.
Okay, so covered is overlaid with or enclosed within something, while submerged is underwater.
Oh!
I don't think
that didn't do anything for your argument.
Submerged doesn't have to be water. There's
exactly.
Submerged is only water. You can be submerged in other things, for sure.
I believe they call that dipped.
Okay, let's bring it back to football. You got a 2 high coverage. You got a 2 shell. It's a blanket coverage.
Yep.
It's still, if you're underneath it, you're still submerged by the coverage.
No, you're covered. Not
submerged. In the coverage.
Submerged would be like you're under a pile with every single player on top of you.
Covered is on top, submerged is under. So if you're the one if you're the one getting covered, you're submerged.
No.
But from an outside perspective, from a third party, you're saying that thing is covered.
We're going to have to start saying that submergence was great.
And Stoof, I see your other message, and I'm not getting to that because my brain can only focus on one element at once.
Windy, that's just clear.
I need to break down what Nick is saying here.
Okay, please.
Liquids can't make liquids wet.
That's what I just said.
Is oil a liquid? Yes or no?
No.
Oh, see, okay. So you pour oil in water, and that is covered in water due to the density.
That's true. You did get me there. That is true. Luke's back in the lead.
Okay, fine, but I said oil's not water. What'd you say to me? Or not a liquid? What would you say to me?
I think you're wrong about that.
I think you're wrong.
I think I'm wrong about that too. I did agree right away. Is Subway submerged? I think technically submerged by not even allegations. It's just lawsuits upon lawsuits that Jared, the biggest spokesperson of all time, just covering. Submerged, maybe.
I think Subway's also submerged
in child pornography.
Subway's also just submerged in horrible fucking food.
Yeah,
true. I want to say, I'm gonna admit something. A couple days ago, I thought about should I go to Subway. I made the decision no, but I did think about it for a second. That's the first time I thought that in at least a decade.
Listen, next time somebody talks about
I went to Jersey Mike's.
Next time somebody talks about Jared from Subway and allegations, don't start with "I gotta admit something" right after. You need to preface that a little bit better next time.
Timing could have been better. I agree.
So Nick's arguing here being oil and water don't touch. How is that any different than when you're in water?
Also, nothing touches.
What are you talking about?
Nothing.
What do you mean oil and water don't touch? When you pour oil in water,
they repel each other.
No, but Luke, if you go all the way,
no, you don't. When you come out of the water, when you come,
but
I really hate this.
But Luke, if you go all the way back, nothing ever touches. Do you remember that? Atoms don't overlap, like they never touch. There's always that gap. So
War Eagle, you might need to pause for a second. And a great comment from Stoof. That was
So water's touching you, but it's not touching the oil. That makes no fucking sense.
But it doesn't touch anything. Nothing.
There's something I could use to defend Luke here, and I don't think I want to defend you.
Do it.
I mean, your body has natural oils, doesn't it? So you're kind of repelling water that way.
I was going to get there eventually.
Yeah, I know. But
the water washes off the natural oils sometimes. So the answer is it depends.
Which is what this article was saying all along.
I'm taking Devontae Smith over Kareem Hunt this week.
Is water wet? It depends on whether you ask a scientist or an English teacher. Well, I'm not asking an English teacher science questions.
This is turned into a philosophy question.
It's like asking a journalist about football. Like they don't know football.
If we ever try to sell this podcast, this should be the clip we use.
I mean, I can't tell if we're making incredible content or if more
This is
people than I
good.
ever thought hate me right now.
This is what the people want to see.
Nick, I would ask that same question to the oil that's underwater.
Also, I don't have to touch the inside of an oven to know it's hot.
True. It's the aura.
The aura, that's a good word.
This article isn't really talking about what we're talking about. This is just, is water wet? And no, it's not wet because water makes things wet. It's saucy. I mean, if we're talking about Sauce Gardner, yes.
So does water make water wet?
No, because water is the thing that makes things wet.
So the water in the ocean does not make the water in the ocean wet. The water is the component that makes things wet, but not the
water is the wetter. It makes things wet.
wetter.
It is the water, and then everything else is the wetty. You know what I mean?
No, I don't think that's true.
I think it is. Water. I mean, to be wet, you have to be covered in water. Water being covered in water is still just water.
It's wet water.
It's like if you have a glass of lemonade, Luke.
Do you understand how crazy that sounds? That wet water.
Yes. Yes.
That's
why you're not wet when you're underwater.
Luke, no. No, I don't.
Yes.
Okay, Nick, I have a feeling he's coming with logic here. Let's go. Since you use the theory that once you get out of water, then you turn wet, what about when someone splashes you with a hose? Does that make you wet or no, since you didn't go under?
Your skin goes under the wave of water that crashes into you. So yes, it still counts.
A part of you is going underwater.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's a slam dunk on him. I don't think that fully hurts Luke's point. I still think your point's wrong. But
this is good.
I don't know how you don't say, like, if you're underwater, you're not wet. What are you talking about?
I think
okay, so the point that you become wet is the immediate point that air touches you.
I would say yes.
Yes.
Why?
Because you're part of the ocean.
I'm not a scientist.
Because you're part of the ocean like the rest of the water.
Thank you, Trevor.
No, it's just you're covered with water. So you come out of the water. I'm wet.
Yes.
To dry off, should I go back in the water?
Yes.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of the world, in relation to what you're in, you would be dry.
Being wet is not relative to something else. It's not.
I think in this case it is.
I think it is.
Being more wet would be relative, but being wet or not it's just yes or no. It's black or white.
I don't think
I disagree with that.
I think it's clearly gray. You've been talking about this for 10 minutes. It's clearly not black and white.
It is, though. It is. You guys are trying to live in this gray area, and I'm telling you, not everything needs to have a fucking hypothetical. It's just you're wet or you're not.
I think if Luke could debate anybody about everything or about anything, and more times than not, he'd get me on his side.
Nick, you're right. That was one of the things that that's correct. A liquid cannot make a liquid wet. I think we all agree with that, right?
No, that does not make any sense to me. Why not?
What do you mean why can't a liquid make another liquid wet?
Does it matter?
It's wet form of matter. It's
everything's made up of atoms.
That's true.
Trevor, shut up.
Speaking of that, you know what's crazy?
This conversation.
Like everything in the world, like all atoms have like an electron, like a huge electron cloud.
Uh-huh.
What if you just condense that all? How small do you think the world would be?
I don't know.
If electron clouds just did not exist.
Gotta be honest, don't know. I don't know how much of the electron cloud factors into space at this point. Maybe a lot. I don't know.
I think it's a lot.
Maybe. You also think that being underwater doesn't make you wet, though.
He's right, though. It does not.
Yes, I'm correct in saying that.
No. Is mayonnaise a liquid? Yeah.
Yes.
Sure. I can be talked out of that.
Okay, fair enough. Christian Leal is Dalton Kincaid a top 5 rather. Tight end rest of season. I think no, but I think he's top 10.
I think he's probably outside of 5 looking in.
Sure.
We had another one from Liam Qualley at 8:30 too. Question.
Jeez.
Okay, that's not that long ago, I guess. Let's scroll up here. Liam, if you're still here, bless you. I'm 2-6, and now dumber after listening to what we were just talking about. Obviously, something needs to change. I agree with us and your team. Stroud, Lawrence, Bijan, Jacobs, Kupp, Devontae, Komet, Ridley, Aaron Jones, Jonathan Taylor, Pierce, Sutton, Dell, Connor. What do I do? I think you can trade away Ridley. Probably can trade away Aaron Jones. I mean, all three of us Packer fans, we think it's going to be a heavier dose of AJ Dillon the rest of the way, it sounds like.
Yep.
Um,
I think you're fine at receiver.
for sure.
I also think you're fine at running back.
Yeah, you've had a couple specific players really underachieve. Obviously, Cooper Kupp's really underachieved the last couple of weeks. I'm fine trading Ridley and Jones to upgrade one of those two positions. Jonathan Taylor's still there. So, I mean, I think your running backs are stacked if you go with Bijan, Jacobs, and Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
And you still have Pierce behind there. So I would probably try to upgrade wide receiver.
Like, I think a 5-sum of Bijan, Jacobs, Kupp, I'm guessing Devontae Smith, and Jonathan Taylor. Like, you can do much worse than that.
I also don't hate just going Aaron Jones and Trevor Lawrence and upgrading quarterback.
You're right.
Yeah.
Like, quarterback seems to be the biggest upgrade here, to me. Probably tight end, too, but yes.
Doesn't that feel nice to be on the same page?
Yeah. I don't know. I like the conversations that people don't like to have.
Me too. I gotta tell you, there's multiple times in the conversation where I think Steve's going off about Diggs again here too.
Yeah.
What is tonight's show? Okay. Okay, Nick did research for us. Let's talk about this. I looked it up. It says liquid cannot make a liquid wet. Yes, agreed. So, could water make itself wet with that logic? No.
No.
I don't think we're debating that. Only Luke is for some reason.
Oh, shit. Hold on. I just read Steph's question. If you ever had wet mayonnaise, and I have it, it's horrible, man.
That's a great point. It can't be too wet.
First shift made McChickens is not wet. We need to have Stoop on the show sometime, man.
So that's my point, though. Like, if you're underwater, water is also underwater.
No. Water's not. What do you mean? It's not.
The water's just a huge fucking thing?
The water is still the water. It's not under itself. It's just water.
I think there's water underwater.
Have you ever taken a glass of water and then you added more water to it? It's not the water went on top of the water. It's just all water there. It's a liquid. That's what liquids do.
How do underwater lakes exist then?
I fucking don't know. Isn't there a solid between them?
I don't think so.
Yeah, usually there is.
So they're just layers.
That's just a deeper part. We're just calling it underwater lakes for no reason. It's just a deeper part.
It always blew my mind when people said there's rivers and lakes underwater.
Yeah, that is a good point. That really does add a brand new element to what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man.
Water becomes one until it is divided.
What does that mean?
I mean, water finds its level. Liquids always go with itself. You know what I mean? So water isn't underwater, but when you are underwater, you are submerged. You are covered.
But you're not wet.
I mean, we just kind of said the definition of being wet. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Being wet I think being wet, the definition of that is malleable. I think that's what we've learned.
Maybe it's a bad definition. That might be fair. Merriam or Webster, come on the show. I'd like to debate you. And it sounds like we all would. Christian, bless you. Will Pollard end as a top 10 running back, even just from this point forward, rest of season? Do you think he's top 10?
No. Like, Dallas is winning games without him scoring touchdowns.
I think he might be top 10 rest of way.
Like, so going forward, that's the 10 best?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't hate that there. I don't think he's going to finish as a top 10 back.
Agreed.
Yeah, okay.
Agreed. But I think he's probably on that lower end of top 10 rest of way.
Okay, I'm with that.
So water can't be. I should be. I apologize for everything that happened for the people who actually got sucked into this fucking conversation. Start 2: Devontae Smith, Pickens, Henderson. I think I'm sitting Pickens.
Really?
I think so. I believe in Henderson against the Packers.
I don't. I'm picking. Oh no, you are right. Yeah. I'm probably going Smith and Henderson then.
Yeah.
It's close.
Yeah. I don't think you're going wrong, Andrew, if you start any of the 3, but
I agree. I mean, I don't know. Like, it's gonna be fucking in less than 100% Kenny Pickett going out there tomorrow night, which scares me even more.
Yeah, you're right.
They should be passing though. Like, the Steelers should be passing to win this game, but that logic gets thrown out the window.
Tennessee is just so bad against good receivers.
Yeah, they should be.
Yeah.
It's close. Love the conversation. Well, if you loved what you heard tonight, get yourself checked and subscribe to the show. And we will be back in like 10-ish minutes to talk about the Green Bay Packers, at least for 10 minutes. And then, I have a feeling we're going to get off topic about something else, because I know I personally don't want to talk about the Packers, but we will. Exactly. We will for a little bit, though. But yeah, we'll be back in a sec.